Greetings everybody, Savage Matt here with another Savage episode of Savage Matt Does Gregtech. I have a little bit of grindy crafty stuff that we are doing today, whilst I talk about The Hobbit. I just went last night to go see Hobbit 3. Gosh. It's like, okay. What I normally call Hobbit 3 is Hobbit 3. They actually killed a dragon in this one. Because, they took all three, movies to kill the dragon, which I totally understand why they did it. The end of the second one was a bit of a letdown. But is that a spoiler? Like, were there, I know you can get online and look and see, like, oh, Benedict Cumberbatch, totally in it. And you could check that. But I'm wondering if that would count as a real spoiler or not. If you saw the second one, you know it had to be in this one. I predicted that the dragon wouldn't die till the third one when I, halfway through the middle of the first one. I just, looked at the pacing and it said, yeah, they're probably going to hold on to it. And one of the reasons why they held on to it is because if the dragon died in the second one, how were they getting people to come to the third one? And with how they did it, it was, to me, it felt like it was Hobbit 1 and then Hobbit 2, parts 1 and 2. Which the last time that happened was Pirates of the Caribbean, which, Pirates of the Caribbean, episode 2, parts 1 and 2 is one of my least favorite examples of a trilogy. It's how you do trilogies wrong. And so I just threw my wrench on the ground again. I need 2 more. So anyway, I went and saw The Hobbit. I took my friend KT with me. She hasn't seen any of the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit or anything. And that perplexes me. I don't know, I never really thought about Lord of the Rings. Quit it. Stupid wrench. I never really thought about Lord of the Rings being one of those movies where it's just a movie everybody has seen, but I guess it is. In my mind, everyone ought to have seen it. Everyone, just ought to know. And so I ended up having to think through the first. She mentioned, and she doesn't tell me this the day before, so I'm like, oh, in that case, the two of us should totally do a marathon where we watch all the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit so that you'll have some context. There were some scenes in The Hobbit that I'm sure she has no clue. In Hobbit 3, she has no clue what was going on. None whatsoever. Because there were some scenes like that where it'd be very, very useful to know the beginning thing. I want to try and upgrade this today. Upgrading these would be nice. From the bees I collected last episode, I am getting them up maximum fertility. I think this is either my last one or my second to last one. Trying to get Valiant species. I'm going to take one of them and make Valiant, and we'll do some stuff with it here pretty soon. Oh my gosh. Trying. I have some little bits of Rural Bee here in it. And I'm trying to get the serums done so I can. Well, if I definitely want the wheat productivity one because I think it makes wheat go faster. But anyway, working on that. So what did I think? Signs. I need some signs. Signs. Or I could just do them. Gosh. Okay, so I've got, if you look around my channel, I've got some videos that are more FaceTime vloggy stuff of me reviewing movies. And when I review a movie, I have a particular way of doing it. Because I don't like a subjective, 4.5 stars. I like to know where those numbers came from. So I created a system wherewith I can tell you exactly where each of the numbers come from. And for me, The Hobbit is a very, very strong 9 out of 10 or a very weak 10 out of 10. is where it is. And you know what? Gosh, do I want to make this a spoilery thingy? No one's gonna watch it anyway. If you are concerned about spoilers and stuff, I'm gonna try and keep it as very vague as possible. And I think, like, honestly, I've read the books. You know, I knew, and I'm also really, really good at reading stories. So I knew a lot of the, story's gonna go like this type of thing. Because it's one of the things I'm really good at. And while a lot of things were not necessarily surprising to me, because having read the book and stuff, all of this can be turned into silicon. I just have to convince my electrolyzer to change materials. Just pulled out a half thing of carbon plates right there, so that's kind of cool that we were moving forward on those. Grinding them up. How are you feeling? You're doing okay. I don't know where we're at with 64 advanced circuits. You're full of lazurite dust. What are you doing? 64 gold, so we're still waiting for silver, huh? Okay, how much electrum do we have? What? There's electrum in the electrum chest! Look at that! Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna take a stack. How much gold is in here? Oh, not quite enough? Okay. Electrum in the electrum stack, though. That's pretty sweet. Silicon in the silicon, then? No. I'll probably go put this in the silicon box. Let it become a plate. That's you. Man, my color scheme. Anyway, so, the first item on my, gosh, I would love to do a, graphic isn't quite the right word. I would love to do an editing nicety thing here, but I'm totally not going to. The first thing on my list of reviewing moviness, Bob, is did I like it? Was that what I was talking about? Nope. Hold on. I was saying something. Spoilers. There will probably be some spoilers here, although I will attempt to shield you people from them. If you are concerned about such a thing, you should probably go away. Ah, man. I mean, I get like 4 views. Do I really need to tell you to stop watching? Yeah, if you are concerned about spoilers, stop watching, or maybe watch this one later. It's just gonna be me talking about and getting my thoughts together about The Hobbit, I think, is part of it. Before I talk to my family about it. And stuff. There were a couple of gripes that I had with it, with Le Hobbit. But they were all minor petty things that people who know me would understand that it annoyed pretty much only me, and I could see why they were like design choices and stuff for it. Tends to be how that goes. So, anyway, let's go on to our 10-point system. The first question of my movie review system is, did I like it? And the answer is yes, a resounding yes. I think Hobbit 3 is the second best in the 6 Tolkien Peter Jackson movies. I think Fellowship of the Ring is a little bit stronger as a standalone movie. You do need the rest of the Hobbit to kind of like make, at least not the rest of the Hobbit, you at least want Hobbit 2 to make Hobbit 3 work like it's supposed to. So that, you know, that makes it not stand out entirely, but it was still really good. Really liked it. So, the second question, main character. Do you like the main character? And it's hard to determine exactly who is the main character. In the previous ones, you could, like in the first one, it was definitely Bilbo. In the second one, it was kind of like less about Bilbo and more about Thorin Oakenshield. This one, I guess it was back to Bilbo. Or actually, I could say Bard. Bard might have been a main character. I don't know. They shared a lot of screen time. Like the first one had Bilbo almost exclusively as the main character, and then he's like gradually slacked off as the person in front of the camera. And so, yeah, he wasn't in front of the camera as much, and so I don't know if you could call him the main character, but he very well could be. You, sir, can survive, and this bee will die. So yeah, main characters. I liked it. Oh, and this rating system, you give it a yes or a no. It's 1 point if you liked it or you approved or you thought it was good or it didn't bother you even. If you want to give it a point, it gets a point. If you don't want to give it a point, it doesn't. So, main characters, a point for that, because no matter who it was, all of them had a fairly compelling story. Yeah, compelling story is a good thing, and they were all true to their characters in and of themselves, and they were all really entertaining to watch. Very good actors were selected, and you could tell that a lot of thought went into the casting process, except for Orlando Bloom, because it's like he would be under the fourth question, but Orlando Bloom, it's like, well, we need an elf. I guess Legolas is in this. Better get Orlando Bloom back. And he doesn't quite look like Legolas used to. I don't know. He looks like he is aged, and Legolas really isn't supposed to. Either that or I've gotten older and I'm expecting him to look... I don't know. I don't know what it is. Legolas felt a little forced. A lot of the elves feel a little forced. Elf males, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking for. Probably Swedish. I don't know. So, the third thing. Point number 3. And this is the point where it's like, 9 or 10, not sure. The villains didn't impress me as much. There was a lot going on, and part of half of the book is the Battle of the Five Armies. There's humans and elves and dwarves, and then I think it's orc and goblins are the other two, or maybe it's 2 orc armies. I'm not sure. I don't remember in the book. It's kind of vague. But until the orc armies show up, it's almost a battle between humans and elves and dwarves. There's, tensions that build up between everybody, and it's almost a brawl between the good guys. And, except for the timely intervention by, this was the bad guy's plan all along, oops, they almost wipe each other out. And so it's kind of like, gosh, what's another movie? It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, which when I reviewed, I also gave a point down for villains, because I love big theatrical villains. I love Scar from The Lion King. I love a lot of Disney villains, actually. There's a lot of really good ones. Jafar is another good one. Somebody who is just evil and pulls it off really well. And Azok, whatever his name is, the big white orc guy, he didn't horribly do it for me. And he has a second in command guy. And, I'm fine with people being tough to kill, but, there was enough going on that you didn't need a single bad guy to be super lucky to try and try and fight these dwarves and not give away spoilers. But there's like one of the bad guys who's just really super lucky, and they do like a jump scare that you're totally expecting the entire time, and you're just waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and it's like, oh, yep, jump scare right there. Saw it coming. And you jump anyway because that's what jump scares are for. But, yeah, now the villains, I wasn't as impressed with them as I have been before. Smog was in this. And Smog, when I'm talking about villains, I'm talking about the later villains in the thing after they kill the dragon. Smog, once again, phenomenal. Very well done. You could... the animation and stuff was really cool, but you could also, he felt like he was crushing your hopes and dreams, and he was, gosh, what was the other thing? Persuading you to be evil. It's like Benedict Cumberbatch, or whatever his face is, he nailed it perfectly. That's like exactly what a dragon should sound like, and yeah, no, that was good. So it's 9.5, because it entirely depends on what villains you're talking about, is where my Loyalties lie. So that was that. So that's 2 points up, 1 point kind of wavering. My system isn't supposed to waver, but I've explained why that wavers. The fourth? Yes, the fourth thing. Secondary characters. 14 dwarves, or 13 dwarves, is a lot of dwarves, and it's really hard to keep track of who you are supposed to care about, which is why in the second one they give one dwarf a love interest, because he becomes the second dwarf. He becomes the second dwarf in the party, where you know two of them. You know Thorin, and you know Keeley. And he's able to matter because of it. And, you're able to identify the other ones, but those are the two. Well, and the old one. Bomber? I don't know the old one's name. Balin, probably. But he was, he was the other one. And those three are the ones that had, two of them had character development. One of them had, story where you were able to pay attention and know what was going on with him. And, although he was just kind of there to fill in, oh, here's the information that you needed to know. I'm glad to have provided you with this information. That totally wasn't what he sounded like at all. But that was the kind of thing. He's kind of there for narrative purposes and not really because he was a character. So, yeah. Anyway, but the secondary characters, for the most part, really good. I never doubted who they were as things were happening. You could trust the elves to be elves, even though if it didn't, entirely feel like you wanted the elves to be, it was still good. And you could trust the Hobbit to be a Hobbit, and you could trust, the dwarves to be dwarven. And it was just all of these secondary characters, and a couple of them just, randomly cameoing from The Lord of the Rings as, a D&D adventuring party. They did good. They did good, and they were enjoyable to watch. Fifth thing on my list is plot. What did I think of the plot? I thought it was a good plot. I've read the book before, so it wasn't a surprising plot to me. The one thing I will say against it, I'm giving it a point because, they did change things from the book. But one of the things that I hold firm is that Tolkien wasn't that great of a writer. He was a great world builder, and he was a very, important writer that everyone needs to know, and everyone benefits from the works that he's done. But he wasn't very good. And that's not his fault. Writing has evolved a lot since Tolkien wrote. And so, we're used to different narrative devices, different ways that our stories flow. We've learned a lot of things about transitions and character development and love interests and a bunch of just random, amazing, crazy stuff that Tolkien he had no clue about. And I can't fault him for that. Can't fault him for not having a clue. I just express a little bit of disinterest. But anyway, they made changes. And I did not catch a single change that I didn't like. There might have been some that I didn't even notice, but that's also fine. If I don't notice a change, then it might as well not have been in there. Oh my gosh, breed true. Oh, you're actually doing okay. Rural diligent. You're also rural diligent, though the opposite way. You have wheat. You are flowers. You go to the slush pits. You two, get your breeding on. Let's see. You are a little bit better. You can go in here. You can go in here, and you'll come with me. So yeah, plot really good. During the Battle of the Five Armies, the actual battle in and of itself, I was really confused as to who was what and what was going where. Everybody seemed to be everywhere, and I don't know. I was not sure where things go. I kind of wanted to have a a map of that battlefield, and to be able to get look and see tactically where things go, because I've played tactics games before and things weren't lining up in my head. And maybe it was just because, maybe they were trying to show combat can be confusing like that. But it felt chaotic, the battlefield there. And I'm going to go with that one once more. So yeah, no, it was a fairly chaotic battle, and I wasn't sure where things were going, and then it gets to the end, and the good guys won somehow. Not entirely sure how or why, but they did. So, yay. And I'm gonna need a hoe over here, aren't I? Here we go. And some seeds. Oh, got plenty of yeah. Hoe. And seeds. And bone meal. There we go. No queen. Oh, right. Hatched. Anyway, so the battle was really chaotic, really confused as to where things went. And maybe it'll be better on a second watching where I can maybe pick out some landmarks or something. I don't know. I do want to watch it again, but it probably won't be in theaters. I did go see it in 3D, by the way. I know some people don't necessarily like that, but I don't mind it. So, someone is coming up behind me. There we go. So number 6 on my list is resolution. And that is how does the when the plot resolves and everything, how does that go? Do you like that? And the answer is for the most part, yeah. They wrapped up the oh my gosh, spoiler. The Bilbo saying goodbye to Thorin at the end was really good. And we'll talk a bit about it in another number coming up here in a second. But the ending of it was good. Most of the characters got it felt complete for them. There's this one secondary weasel of a character who was in Hobbit 2, and he was in this one as well. And the Hobbit, the weasel was kind of the part he was playing, and of just the second in command Toady, and they kept building him up as a jerk, and so I was expecting a bit of payoff where he died or something, and I didn't see that payoff, and that kind of annoyed me. I was hoping he would get a little bit of comeuppance, which is why you have characters be mean, so that they can get punched in the face and the audience doesn't care. They see it as karmic, adjustment. So, that's it's an interesting. You know what? I don't need this over here now. Now that I've actually bred the rural, I can take this back to base, and we can do it over there. So yeah, no, resolution was good. I liked a lot of the resolution. Number 7 on my list is it's referred to as dialogue, but it's writing in general. Do the characters, sometimes you want, if you have a really good quote that you'll be saying a lot, that's cool. Sometimes if you have some witty scenes, some snappy comebacks between characters, even a snappy song, that can be good. Yeah, that type of thing. For writing, it was good. Guillermo del Toro, or however you pronounce his name, was one of the writers on it, and that was surprising and pleasing to see. Not that I'm a huge fan of his, I just have noted that some of his work is really good. So, yeah, no, dialogue and stuff was good. there's this one scene at the end where, you know, Bilbo and Gandalf, they were like so close to having a moment, but Gandalf just spends like 2 minutes cleaning out his pipe. And it's, you know, you would expect that time to be filled with words, but it doesn't need to be. That right there was perfect for what Bilbo and Gandalf needed. And it worked out really well. And I really liked the writing on this one. The next thing is maintaining immersion. There are immersion, for those of you who don't know, is the, you know, keeping you from realizing that you're watching a movie. Because as soon as you realize that, oh, I'm watching a movie, then you failed. I mean, you can kind of, you know that you are, but the goal of a director is to make you forget that you're watching a movie and that you're in a movie theater, and have you be in Middle Earth in this Hobbitish example. It was good. Very, very immersive. There was some, there wasn't as much of the really, really crazy, stupid, obviously CG special effects, like the barrel scene from the second one. And if you've seen the second one, you know what I mean by the barrel scene. It is a strong example of how special effects shouldn't be done. Well, it was like a good scene. It was just long, and there was a lot of it, and you were just tired of it by the end. Is how that one went. Let's drop you and... Oh, definitely you. So yeah, the barrel scene. Anyway, that was immersion. Number 9, provoke proper emotional response. Does it laugh when you wants you to laugh? Do you cry when they want you to cry? And the answer is, heck yeah. Oh my gosh, the feels. The feels are so strong all throughout this movie. The feels. When Billy Connolly comes charging in on his war pig to the spoiler, it was a battle, people die, but yeah, all of that really, really good. This movie might, mind you, I said might, be a good step in healing my disbelief of death in fiction. It was good, and it provoked proper emotional responses. And that was number 9. Number 10 is, would you watch it again? My answer is yes. Not cold, though. I would probably watch it again as part of a freaking huge Tolkien marathon. And if it didn't take, 2 days to watch them all now. It's 18 hours until you get extended, which I don't have any of the extended, but I think I'll just buy, a cheapo widescreen version. I don't even know if I have Hobbit 2. I might not even have Hobbit 1, but I'm looking forward when they put out the super duper extended, 6-movie mega cut, 29-hour long, experience. I'd buy that. And I would watch that. And I think that would be amazing to have. It's like, you don't buy the Lego Lord of the Rings game. When you bought the Lego Lord of the Rings game, or the Lego Star Wars, that's what you should say. When you buy, the Lego Star Wars game, if you bought Lego Star Wars New Hope, every year from there, they put out, a new one. And so, but for, year 1, it was New Hope. Year 2, it was Empire Strikes Back. Year 3, it was Return of the Jedi. Year 4, it was the original trilogy Star Wars edition. Lego Star Wars edition. And then they did the same for the prequels. And then they had, the prequel trilogy edition. And then they have new special, all 6 on one disc. And then they'll re-release all of the Lego game together with the 7th one. And it'll just, keep going forever. as data storage becomes cheaper. But I've taken up plenty of your time. If you have any comments or anything that you want to talk about Le Hobbiton, please leave them down in the comments below. No flowers. No flowers. Bet you actually need flowers, don't you? Flowers. Yep. Well, that would be a problem there. No flowers. I wonder if a flower pot would work. I really doubt it. Are you a place that'll give me trouble? No. Do a flower? No. Okay. Well. Maybe I'll get lucky in this one, like one in here. Anyway. Hey, this got distracted me from my ending stuff. And my dinner is burning on the stove as we speak. Thank you guys so much for watching if you stuck through this all the way. If you have any questions, I would love to talk about this movie, because there's a lot of other stupid things that showed up that I haven't had a chance to talk about. There was also a lot of really cool things that were not stupid that I would also love to talk about. This was a good movie. Best movie of 2014? I would have to look at a list of them. Next episode, I will tell you if this was the best movie of 2014 or not. But I'm not going to break this episode now because I am making it as simple as I can to upload. So, if you guys stay online, I'll see you next time. Peace out.